Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Star Spinner Tarot by Trungles. Give that a second to focus. There is a website, chroniclebooks.com. So feel free to freeze frame there if you'd like to. If you want that information, obviously. Supportive cards, oracle cards, are spellcasting oracle cards by Flavia, Barbara, and the artwork is by Lizbeth. There's their full names. There's websites for them too. She Who Is Art, I notice every time. There's a couple other websites there too. If any of that interests you, feel free to freeze frame and check that out. Okay, what do we have for Virgo? Virgo, go, go. 3 cards out at once, huh? Okay, I guess we'll see where this is going. Okay, you got some, got hitchhiker cards. What's up? What's going on? Hitchhiker cards already, huh? Which is neither good nor bad, honestly. It's just kind of like a layered message, usually quite impactful. One of them's the wheel. Okay, so this is where we're starting. Is this going to develop, or is this where we're... 8 of Cups, 8 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune leading to the Ace of Pentacles. So do you know... The way I'm looking at this, it's not like you know it will go there to the Ace of Pentacles. Like it's not like you know this will be stable at the end. It's kind of like, no, I need this to be stable at the end. So the wheel is coming. I have to make a choice. So the wheel is turning. I have to make a choice because of that. I have to decide what I'm going to do. And when I make this decision, what's heavily going to impact it is how stable I feel it will last. Like, there could be like a couple different options, but it's like, my first thought is like, which one of these, how many of these options will actually last? So there might be a couple really good options in front of you, but you're looking at them like, well, that's good and that's really great. I love those two, but I don't have confidence that they'll last. I'm not looking to buy a new house just to have to move in a couple months. That's basically how I'm looking at it. So it might be like, I love this place. I love this place on the beach with no heat. But during the summer, I don't need the heat. Come the winter, though, not so cool. So I'm going to have to make some changes. So it's kind of like, okay, wait a minute. Love it to start with. Long term, not looking like my thing. Okay, that's what we're starting with. And you're going into it very slowly. I don't think the situation is bad, by the way. I don't see anything bad for you, actually. I don't see it being bad, but I feel like there's a lot of pressure. Like, if I don't want this to I don't want to have to deal with this wheel again. I think that's I'm almost frustrated about it. Like, yeah, the wheel is here. I have to deal with it. I get that. But I don't want this to be like a thing. I don't want to constantly deal with the Wheel of Fortune. I'll deal with it this time. I'll do what I need to do this time. But I want to set this up so, like, all right, that's enough. And let me put down some roots and enjoy what I have. What is this? What's going on with this? I love this card, by the way. I think this is a gorgeous card. The happiness card. I think it's really pretty. This is other people. Other people trying to pull you towards them. Hopefully the situation you're dealing with, you can step back, even if you have to go for a car ride, or if it's like, for some of you, if this is a work situation, maybe having a break, like taking a 15-minute break and just going and sitting in your car by yourself so you can sort out what you want to do by yourself. That might be a really good thing. People are going to try to pull you where they're going because you're liked. These are people who like you. So I think that's why I'm seeing this happiness card, and I'm like, it's a really beautiful card. I like it. But I feel like what's good for somebody else just because they're good to you and they're nice to you and they're friendly energy, that doesn't mean what's good for them is good for you. You know what I mean? We can get along with people who are different than us, obviously. I'm not a Virgo, I'm a Pisces, but still. What's good for somebody else is good for somebody else. Let's be careful of that. Because I feel like I might get kind of drawn into something or pulled towards something that's really not for me. But it may seem like, well, it's not that bad, or it's not, maybe it's not what I really want, but it's acceptable. I don't think that's a good way to go with this. Go towards what you actually want, that you feel confident and comfortable with. Because there's a change coming up. And I do see you kind of going into something that's going to last, which is another reason I feel like you really need to choose what you want. Not, because I feel like there's some heavy influence, there's pressure. I think this is where the pressure is mostly coming from. People want you to come with us, Virgo, come with us, Virgo, come on, come with us. And I feel like if you could just step back from that, take a minute to just chill. And I feel like Virgos are quite resourceful. Like, you can find a way to make that happen if you have to. Kind of like, oh, I need to go. Oh, I got something I got to do. I got to go. And just kind of go, and then find yourself a moment of peace. Because if you have a moment of peace just to sort it out, you'll know what you want. And then once you decide, not only that this is what I want, but then you commit to, like, that's what I'm going to go for, you will stick by your guns. You will, once you've committed to it and you're like, that's what I'm going to do, I feel like you will have the strength to get where you need to go. We need to pull away from the energy of other people, because it's positive energy. I think that's the hardest part. It is good energy, it's positive energy, but just because it's positive energy doesn't mean it's for you. There may be a different positive energy that's for you. So I think that's like because there's a very strong friendship feel here. Very strong, you feel good, you like these people, even if they're family, even if they're co-workers, it feels like good friendships, good connections, good positive connections. And yeah, you want to keep those connections, but maybe you can still keep those connections and still do what you want and do what works for you. As long as you work towards what works for you, this card will go in your favor. The High Priestess, because the High Priestess has to look out for themselves, and they usually are good for, like, they look out for other people, but they always keep themselves into thought too, like, well, does this work for me and everybody else? Don't sell yourself short. Don't do something just because somebody else wants you to. Just don't do that. Even if it's kind of like, well, it's not that big a deal, still, I feel like in the long run it might be. Trust that if you choose what you want the most, it works out best for everybody. Trust this. If you choose what you want the most, literally that's the trust card. It'll work out best for everybody. Just trust that. We keep saying the same thing, so I'm like, is there something else going to come out of this? I'm also noticing, like, these two cards, I sometimes think of these as sister cards. The High Priestess and the Empress, like, they get along very well. In my book, they do anyway. One of them kind of says, okay, this isn't working out the best, but this is what we can do with it. The other one goes, well, yes, we can do that, but I want to look out for some of these people too. They seem to be very similar, but they have a little bit different way of looking at things. The Empress tends to look out for others a little bit more. And then the High Priestess tends to be like looking at, like, what's real here, what's the real good, what's the real not good, and how do we make it work to its best advantage. The Empress will try to make it work out for everybody and kind of like try to make it best. Like, it's similar energy. It's just making sure, like, this is the Empress. The Empress, like, the Empress doesn't work out well unless they include themselves in the care. They have to be cared for too as much as everybody else, or they'll get drained and they'll suffer from it, and they will ultimately fail if they don't include themselves in the priorities. And it's right side up, which I tend to read right side up anyway, but as long as you look out for yourself and what you want first, because you're going to definitely think about other people. You're not selfless, or you're not selfish. Whatever. just free yourself from what other people want for a minute. Free yourself from what other people want for a minute, and realize that doing what you want will work out for the best for everybody. It does get a little confusing. People seem to be upset if you don't go their way. I don't think there will be any long-term damage, but I'm suspicious of this. Because they got the 5 of Swords with the 10 of Swords. Like if you don't go their way, they seem to take it like, well, if you don't do this, I can't do it by myself. That's not good. So if you choose the direction you want and they decide to follow you, I don't think that's bad. I think you might find that with some people. And more might come forward later about why they did what they did. I would pay attention to that. So if there's a choice here, and they're going to do what they want, then you're like, all right, but I'm going to make this choice and go this way. And then they change their mind and go your way. I would just be aware of that and pay attention to it. Because there's something here with the swords that isn't quite... Or there's one face down card. What is it? Protection. There's something they want. There's secrets here. There's secrets? Secrets about what? The Knight of... It's not the Knight, that's the King. King of Swords shows up. 10 of Swords, 5 of Swords. This is another reason you want to go your way. There's a secret here. I feel like that's what they're protecting. There's something you need to know that you don't know yet. But when you go the way you want to, those secrets come forward. That I did not at all expect. I did not at all expect. Not at all. Not at all. Your outcome still is best if you go your way. But this information that comes forward, this is very interesting to me. Because it also comes forward with the Death card. Kind of like it may change your whole scope of the situation. Once you learn something, you might be like, oh, really? I don't see you acting on it right away, but I see like you have the Queen of Cups here. You're going to be happy that you made the choice you made, and you're going to keep that tucked in your pocket. Kind of like, oh, okay, that's good to know. There's a secret that's revealed. Like a complete secret. Like, I wasn't even realizing that was a thing. I had no idea. It's like completely blindsided. Didn't see it coming. Doesn't wreck your day. It's just one of those things where now that you walked away from that over there, it's like now somebody tells you why they wanted to be over there. And you're like, oh. I don't know. It changes your perspective of the whole thing. And it seems to be something you don't act on, but you remember. You're like, okay, not going to do anything with that information, but I'm going to remember it. I'm definitely going to remember that. I know it's a general read, so I think I almost feel like I'm a little nosy. I'm like, I wonder what it is. But it's a general read. Whatever is supposed to come forward to you will, but it comes forward by you choosing what's right for you. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.